Word up. You're on the Flyguyspodcast. I'm your man, DJ Seiko Varner. Salute that. What's up? Who's on the line with me? We got my man, Dan Trez Omi. Salute that. We got my man, Sam, my cousin Sam. Salute that. Yo, we're going to have
Primo.
So, we were just looking at this interesting picture of this meme, or I don't know what to call them, picture. Hard truths the left can't handle. And Danny, you were just about to go in on that, man. So when you see something like this, you are not oppressed. White privilege is a myth. Nobody owes you anything. There are only two genders. Hate speech is also free speech. Capitalism cures poverty. The wage gap is a myth. You were just saying, bro, that you see those things and it's not even up for debate.
Yeah. And I think the analogy that I used was that it's kind of like flat earthers. There are people that run around and they be like, oh, I believe in the flat earth. I don't even like debate them. I just like, I'm out, because there's so much evidence there's so much evidence that contradicts that idea that the earth is flat, that why, and then it also, what we also do is if I debate people on that, I kind of validate their opinion, right? Because if I'm debating you, that says that I see it as a legitimate argument. So if somebody says to me, there's no wage gap, I'm like, there's no need for me to argue with you. But I did point out before we came on the air that there's a reason why it's frowned upon to not discuss salaries at the workplace. Because if we did discuss salaries, you'll learn that there are people that make more money than you, and it has nothing to do with merit, has nothing to do with education, has nothing to do with your experience. It all has to do with skin color, gender, and all those things.
You don't think it has anything to do with position?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Most jobs are nepotism, right? But come on, there are people that are in positions that they don't have the degrees for it, and a lot of them are white. A lot of them are white and male, and that's just a proven fact. That's like across the board. That's like across the. I mean, look, we're having people in Hollywood coming out saying there was gonna, we have women coming out saying, wait a second, I'm the star of this show, of this movie. Why am I getting paid less than the co-star? Or why am I getting paid less than the supporting cast member? We just had Benedict Cumberbatch come out and say he's not going to do Doctor Strange unless the women in his movie get paid just as much as he does. I mean, it's a fact, and we can argue. I'm not going to argue with nobody about that because it's fact.
All right, hey, salute that. We have our girl Star tapping in.
Peace, Star, peace.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Happy New Year.
Hi. What did I miss?
We just got started and Danny ended it.
Finish them.
Yeah, so we were looking at this conservative America. I'm a follower of this.
Really? Wow. You're hurting me, brother. You should have admitted that on this podcast.
And so I saw this meme.
Hold on, is that why you still mess with your boy Tariq Nasheed? Is that why you still mess with him?
Oh,
you get down with him, Seiko?
Trez Khalifa. Right.
Okay. So this is turning into a Hate Tariq podcast. All right.
Oh my God! Wait a minute? But I saw this thing where he did on. He said white women have always had it more rough than black women. Like it's an actual video that he did, and he was actually trying to break it down and say how white women have had a rougher time in this country than black women. And I was like, if anybody listens to him ever in life, like,
okay, I have never heard that. That's new.
You know what? His R&B video should be enough for you to stop messing with him.
What video?
He has an R&B video out. That should be enough for you to stop messing with him.
Is it new?
They came out like a couple months ago. Yeah. Yep.
Yo,
just for that, you should cancel that dude.
Yo, I like the song.
Hey, I'm clocking out right now. I'll see y'all later.
I think that he should have had someone else sing the lead part, kind of like Happy. Happy would have been a better song if John Legend sang it instead of Pharrell singing it. And it's the same thing with It's Time by Mink Slide, your boy Tariq Nasheed.
I didn't think I would need some alcohol. I think
I'm about to go get some right now, man. Like, this
so
guy's actually critiquing his music. Like, wow.
Yo, get me up on the giddy up. So you're saying that Tariq stated that Caucasian women had it easier, had a harder time than melanated women here in America, than black women.
Let me pull it up right now. Let me pull it. Yeah.
And then he was like slowly defending R. Kelly. Like, that dude needed to be canceled, man.
I listened to the podcast where he talked about R. Kelly. He had some interesting points.
Okay, this is going into a dark place.
It is, and I'm ashamed that I'm on here. I have a reputation to uphold, and there's no defending R. Kelly, man.
I didn't defend R. Kelly.
But he had valid points about R. Kelly. Like, what are the valid points?
Listen to the. I can't
want to know this.
Look, I can't repeat exactly what he said. I just thought he had some interesting points. I didn't say valid. I said interesting points about the R. Kelly debacle that's happened. So
debacle?
Yeah, it was a debacle. What happened to those ladies?
Oh, okay. I feel you. I feel what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
All right.
Hashtag mute R. Kelly, by the way.
Hashtag mute R. Kelly. We did that last time. You know, so the conservative left America believes that, quote unquote, you are not oppressed. Star.
Yes.
You are not oppressed.
Okay. Lies.
You are not oppressed. Dan says, Omi, you are not oppressed.
You know what? I could believe that if I lived in Wakanda.
That's right.
That person probably went to see the Black Panther and he was like, oh, black people are not oppressed, see? And that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, do you feel oppressed? That's a good question.
Again, I'm not going to, yes, I do, but I don't think it's something we need to discuss. We can discuss a million other things. I don't think we need to discuss it.
I feel you on that because it's like it when you know something is factual, why sit and debate it just because somebody's stupid? It's like they're just, trying to throw something out there to cause chaos. Or if you're, right. I don't think they even believe that, but I don't have to like try to refute your stupid belief, like whatever.
Okay, so we shouldn't come.
And don't change the subject, bro. We kind of still on Tariq Nasheed. Don't try to switch it up.
Okay, so I found the video. I want to know where I can send it.
Right, you trying to like slide out. I see what you're doing, man.
I want to know where can I send this link where all of y'all can get it.
I don't want to see it. I believe you, Star. I believe you. I don't need to see it. You need to cancel your boy, Sekou. You need to cancel that dude. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Star don't need to send me. If Star says something, I'm gonna believe it 9.9 out of 10 times. So
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna send this to Sekou right now. I'm about to inbox.
Yo, Star. What page is it on?
I'm about to inbox you right now. Sekou, Varner Sekou, the edutainer. I'm gonna.
Oh, you're doing Facebook? Okay.
Yeah.
I rarely do Facebook. Okay.
So what should I send it? How should
Cool. That's cool. I know how to get it.
Because I'm on I can't do it from my phone right now, so I can't do Instagram.
Okay.
Or do you want me to email
read a little bit to me before I get it.
It's a video. It's a YouTube video. But the title, let me give you what the title says. It says, white women have always been more oppressed than black bitches, says Tariq Nasheed.
That's some fucked up shit to say.
Ouch.
Whoa. Wow. At what point did he say that?
This was a couple of years ago, I think, but not like, many years ago, but it was some years ago. And nonetheless, he was an adult, and to ever say that is like absolutely insane. And it's like when these guys are caping for white women like that and then against black women, and I listened to it, like it's been a while, I listened to it and I can't remember everything, but it just really had me in a state of shock and disbelief, because that's like really reaching for somebody to say that. And then for a black person to say that, it was just one of those things where you're like, wow, am I really hearing this? Like, you really said this. And I did a Facebook Live with a friend of mine like 2 weeks ago that was just basically talking about this whole sect of black men versus black women and black women versus black men that's like really, really becoming prevalent online, on blogs and YouTube. And, that plays into that hate and vitriol of and that takes it to a whole nother level too. Like, I don't know. It was some serious caping going on.
Like
and there's no way you can find of that, because he was trying to make it historic. And so you're talking about people who were enslaved, because he started talking about how white men, I think he was saying white men always treated white women badly. And I'm like, oh, but they owned black women. And like, just, I can't. That's another one where it's just like, I can't.
All right, I've pulled it up. And I have, until you just mentioned this, I have not known anything about it.
There's been two free people in this country, two free races. That's black women and white men. That's why I said earlier in this broadcast that a white guy would really have no problem stepping to a sister, because the respect factor is there. If you look at our society, the American country, our society, black women rather, and white men pretty much free to do whatever they want to do. It was white women who were more oppressed, and black men who were oppressed. A lot of people might say, oh my God, how so? Now, if any white women are listening, white women know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's your boy. That's your boy. That's your boy. And look. You know what's crazy? We did a whole episode on how he hates black women, right? I never saw that video.
That's something to see. Like, that's
I told you. I never saw that video. And I've been told you that, which black women have been telling me that for years. So, yep, he does not like black women, man.
I mean, that is something right there. Like, wow.
Yep.
And then he had SWV Rain playing softly in the background.
What's up with this guy, man? Like, what is up with this dude? Yo, he is like, wow, man. He is wow. Like, and when somebody told me he had an R&B video, I had to see it. I was like, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, dude, he has an R&B video out. I was like, which is like, if he came out with it 20 years ago, people would probably play it on the radio. But it sounds very dated. So yeah.
Oh yeah, well well, if I say anything, it's gonna sound like I'm caping for him.
What can you say?
All I was saying is I like the song. I just think that someone else should have sang the song.
Are you playing it?
I'm playing it.
Oh. I'm mad that I recognize it.
And so he caught a lot of heat because they said they're one of them dark skinned women in the video. All right, so the star. I'm looking at the star and I'm cracking up.
What is happening to this podcast?
That was Tariq Nasheed.
That is
yes, that's the video right there, yo. That's Seku's boy right there, yo. That's his Spade's partner, you know.
Yo, he had the B-boys in there.
That's it. people have identity crises and they want to be a lot of different things that they're not. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just think that it was I thought it was a fly song. I think someone else.
It's called Mink Slide.
Mink Slide.
Oh my god. Oh wow, that is real.
That dude is weird, yo. That dude is weird, yo.
Oh gosh. Wow. Yeah, he's weird. That's oh gosh.
Wow.
Seiko, what's wrong? Like, why are you?
I just said, like I said, I like the song. I think he should have had someone else sing it song. I thought it was well written. I like the music to it. I like that.
But he's an asshole.
For lack of a better term, because I can think of a thousand different things to call him. You know,
I liked A Different World. I liked the Bill Cosby Show.
I mean, look. I like
not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. I like A Different World, and I like Cosby Show. That's not the same thing.
Involved in that, like it wasn't a monologue. You know, it is like there are a whole bunch of people in The Different World and people who had a hand in that, who were actors. You know, the writers, the choreographers, all of those things that made A Different World and the Cosby Show what it is. It wasn't Bill Cosby all by himself being Bill Cosby. He wasn't even being Bill Cosby. He was being Heathcliff Huxtable in that. This is Tariq Nasheed being Tariq Nasheed and doing the Mink Slide. Like, I mean, that's all him.
All right, well, I'm not caping.
How do you do the Mink Slide? Because I didn't see the whole thing.
Good, we good.
How do you put on a chinchilla in 2018 and like, what's it?
Do this though. There's some historical information on the term Mink Slide, which dates with it's. I'll pull it up. I see it.
We need to go there. I mean, do we need to absolutely go there? Like,
I am not caping.
My bad, Sam. My bad, Sam. We went this way. My bad. This is what I get for
right now.
This one, right?
I don't know.
Because Sam warned us. He was like, "Yo, where we going with this?" Like,
I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. This is funny.
Right now. Time out.
All right.
Oh my God, you're caping hard.
I'm not caping. I listen to his.
What was James Brown's partner name? Who would throw the cape on him?
I forgot. I know that. I forgot his name.
That's you right now.
Yeah, you right now. That's
okay. All right. New topic.
What was his name? What was his name?
I gotta look it up. I have it here somewhere.
I'm just saying. I'm a fan of his podcast, so I listen to the podcast.
Okay.
Bobby Bird. Say so, Bobby Bird out here.
Bobby Bird and Bobby Bird. He did. You Got Soul. Bobby Bird.
He was the one who used to throw that cape on James when James would be like, please. He would throw the cape. You caping. You Bobby Birding for Tariq.
Wow.
Yo, leave Bobby Bird out of this.
I like Bobby. He's the sympathetic character.
Look. If you look up information about Tennessee, there was a Columbia riot. It was a race riot, and it started because a sister and her son weren't going to allow themselves to be taken advantage of. And this whole situation is called Mink Slide. So on the night of February 25th, a white mob gathered around the Maury Courthouse, a segregated black business section known as the Mink Slide. The Mink Slide was a black business district.
Okay.
So then this is blasphemy.
Ooh.
Well, that it might be. That it might be.
It is blasphemy. Ooh.
That it might be. Okay.
And have y'all seen this headline? It says the Hotep apocalypse is upon us. Tariq Nasheed goes full Cisco. That's what they said about it in the room.
And you know what's funny? I knew he was going to go down, but not like this.
You thought he was going to do a Bill Cosby, right?
No. I didn't think he was going to do a Bill Cosby. I thought that I imagined like someone debating him and then like just destroying him, flat out destroying him. And then, you know, people be like, oh, he's whack. You don't mess with him no more. But doing this R&B song, and I didn't see that. I didn't see that happening.
Well, you know, I think everybody has a lot of. If I say anything, it's gonna sound caping, but I do think that people have a wide variety of interests. So I've always been involved in the activist community, the conscious community, political community, educational community. I've also been involved with, you know, the Caribbean community, involved with reggae sound sets and sound clashes. You know, I was involved with the Universal Zulu Nation. I was involved with hip hop. So I can use myself as an example. I was just involved in a whole lot of stuff. Y'all know I put out a gospel song. Y'all know I put out jazz songs, and I put out hip hop out.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't claim to be the epitome of blackness. You don't claim to represent yourself as the authority when it comes to Black history. You don't claim yourself to be an authority when it comes to pop culture. You don't come off like that. You don't do that. You don't.
But my issue with him is the vital thing that he said.
Knows what he's talking about. You never come off like that.
All right, what were you saying?
I don't like the fact that he says a whole bunch of negative things. Like, he could be in a lot of different spaces, and even the Mink slide might be funny to me, but I wouldn't be like straight clowning him if he didn't provide a lot of negativity. Like, he says a lot of vile, negative things that are wrong, and that creates this subset of Black people that are following him down a negative path. So that's my issue, and you do none of that. Like, yes, go into, you know, explore, live your life, but be consistent. And I mean, keep your message consistent and keep it positive. And so his is not, and that would be my issue with him. If he was a positive figure and he did the Mink slide, I'd chuckle, I'd giggle, I'd laugh at it, but I wouldn't be like, cancel him. He should have been canceled a long time ago.
Yeah, because if you look at it, what you're talking about is having different interests. There's nothing wrong with having different interests. We all have different interests. But what we're talking about, someone who, I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with, but just looking at some of this shit, that he's too far out there. How are you gonna say that white women are the most, like, who says some shit like that?
I need to look at the comments, because what's really going to be scarier is if people are agreeing with this.
You know what, you're right about that, because that is some scary shit. If people are agreeing with him on that level. You know, sometimes there are a lot of people who just want to jump on a bandwagon. But then, you know, hopefully there are really people who are conscious and woke who come for him, because then I'm here for that.
Well, you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah, people are saying, even if you hate him, you must not have a brain in your head if you don't think what he's saying here is true. Everything he was saying is backed up by facts. But most of the other, everybody else, not a lot of commenters, they didn't agree.
Are we talking alternative facts?
Alternative facts. There you go. Yep.
Right. That's scary. You know, and it kind of goes, and this is getting off topic, but when everybody was on what Kanye was saying, what really, really bothered me about it was how it affected Black people so much. Like, it just should be like, he's an idiot, let's move on. But it mattered too much to me.
But I think it's because, and we last episode we tried to avoid it, but I think it's because
you couldn't avoid it.
No, I think it's because a lot of people cape for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, you know, like, really cape for Kanye over the years. They claimed his genius, and then they kind of felt like they were let down. You know, when I agree, he should have been canceled a long time ago, because he's been wilding out for a long time. But I think what happens is a lot of times, like with Bill Cosby, like, a lot of people caped for him for many, 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 many years. So you know, when all that stuff went down, you had a lot of people who stopped caping for him, and they were just in shock, you know. And I think we have to learn how to be careful when, you know, when we come out for people, you know, like how hard do we cape for that person, you know. Right. And we've been let down a lot. And I think with Kanye, you know, I never forget when he first came out, Mos Def said he's going to save hip hop. I remember that on Def Poetry Jam. He said that he's going to save hip hop. All these people were saying he's going to do all these amazing things. And then, you know, it was a big letdown for a lot of people.
We continue to put a lot of weight on celebrity. Well, to put a lot of we give them too much credit, and it annoys me all the time. Like another thing that made me put a status up about Kanye, because I was trying to leave it alone, just pretend it wasn't there. When I saw on CNN and MSNBC, obviously it started out on TMZ, but these like quote unquote major national news channels were talking about this, and then they had what's his name, Charlemagne and Ebro up there, and I'm like, out of all of the things going on in the Black community that deserve being discussed on a national platform, and then on top of that, the myriad of people who are qualified to discuss them, you guys have a discussion about Kanye West, and you have Charlemagne the God and Ebro on there discussing it. And I mean, I saw one with Mark Lamont Hill and like 2 other Black people on it, but I was like, this is crazy. Like, why is Kanye West CNN, MSNBC worthy? That's a wide audience. And then I remember, just to take it further about the whole celebrity thing, when Van Jones' Crybaby Self, when his show debuted, which I've never seen it again, he had Jay-Z on as his first guest. And I'm like, you have a show on CNN and your first guest is a rapper, and you're talking about politics. You're talking about politics to a rapper. You're not even talking about money or anything like that. And I'm like, why does the Black guy, your first guest on a political show, have to be a rapper? And so the comments were, oh, Jay-Z was deep. Because we say everybody is deep, boy. And I'm like, it's a little scary. And then it was the same with Kanye. People were like, yeah, because Kanye is telling us to think freely, and y'all missing it because he is saying, and I'm like, but then right before that, he told y'all I got liposuction so you wouldn't call me fat.
Right.
I'm going to need you to think.
Body shame.
Wow.
You shouldn't body shame, but he's not a free thinker. If you're like, I got liposuction because I'm concerned about what people might say about me, but I'm wearing Trump hats and saying that slavery.
No, look. I canceled Kanye. I canceled Kanye a long time ago. Yeah, I canceled Kanye when he went to George Bush and apologized to him. I canceled him back then. You know, so like, and then I don't think. And the reason why I never really discussed him is I don't think he's a genius that we claim for him to be.
I agree.
He's a genius, and I don't think his catalog really shows that, demonstrates that. But I hear your point, Star, about that, about, you know, that whole thing. But what I realized about mainstream media is that, and it's not a knock for mainstream media. They do that for the clicks. They do that for everybody's gonna. If you got Jay-Z on there, everybody's gonna, you know. Everybody's going to turn on the TV to Jay-Z. If you put Dr. Lamont Hill, they're not going to turn on the TV for that. You know, they're not. You know, and we know this. You know, so it's kind of like that's why they do that. So I'm not surprised they had, you know, Charlemagne up there, and you know he's a troll.
He's a troll. But I wish we would be a more discerning audience, because you just don't see that a lot with other communities, where when you're talking politics or something that is serious, and they go and get an entertainer to be, you know, the person talking about it. So I wish we would become a more discerning and demanding audience and be less mesmerized and captivated by celebrities, because I'm like, if you got bars, if you can make people move, you know, you can sing or entertain or whatever, then we'll, you know, we're going to tune in and we will cape.
All right. Well, look, we have 5 minutes left. And pretty much
you didn't talk about privilege.
We never got to. We might have to do a second one. But this one is turned into y'all caping for the wrong folk. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
so who should we be caping for? So why don't you name some people that we need to start looking out for, we need to start caping for, we need to start supporting Black women, I'll say number one. Women in general, I'll say for number two. But who else do we need to start caping for?
I say cape for the people in your community who you see that are doing things that specifically benefit the Black community. If there are businesses, if there are organizations, if there are activists, if there are, individuals, whatever, that are doing work that focuses specifically on the Black community, you need to be caping for them, because I'm gonna tell you what, that's not an easy plight, and it's one that is full of sacrifice. Is one that once people put themselves out there like that, their employability or ability to move around in the mainstream a lot of times is really, really compromised. So when you have those things where people are focused on our community and make that a priority, which is becoming further and fewer and further in between, because we fall into the, I don't know, just all these traps that they tell us to do, but they don't tell other communities to do. People who prioritize our issues, cape for them, and cape for them with your mouth, your words, and your finances.
Wow.
Real quick, I got two,
Okay.
well, three actually. Number one, if you're in the New York area, support #Crown Wakanda. Shout out to Fanbro Show, and what they're doing is they're doing like a STEM camp for Black and brown youth in New York. So if you go on do #Crown Wakanda, you can find out how you can donate to that. Shout out to Joan Morgan. She's considered the first hip-hop feminist. About 15 years ago, she came out with a book called When Chickenheads Come Home to Roost. She's coming out with a new book this summer. You could actually pre-order it on Amazon, and it's called, it's about Lauryn Hill. Because the 20th anniversary of Lauryn Hill's coming up. So she has a book on Lauryn Hill that you should definitely check out. And then finally, what you should do is next week, going back to Black Panther, next week, Ta-Nehisi Coates' issue number one of Black Panther comes out, and Wakanda actually colonizes another planet they call Bast. So please check that out. Penciled by Daniel Acuna.
Ashe. Sam, who should we be caping for?
There's this one dude on Instagram. It's Black Sands Entertainment, and I'm so proud of this brother because a lot of times, with all the Marvel movies that we have going on and we see everything and it's good, but we still need to be able to tell our own stories. And so this dude has started his own comic book, doing the movie thing, trying to get anime going. We got to support our own. We got to tell our own stories. We can't let other people tell our stories. So, I'm really caping hard for him. I want to see him succeed. He's trying to do a lot of different things because we got to control our narratives and be able to put our voice out there. So I'm very proud of him, and it's something that I kind of want to do in the future. So.
Okay. Well, I'll say this to close things out. Cape for Seiko. All right. I'm running for a school board in Virginia Beach, and I can use your support. So cape for me. Cape for me. But as I said earlier, I do think that, with the Me Too movement and all the other things that are happening with progressive impacts, we need to cape for those things. I spoke to my daughter. It was kind of funny. We're talking about Disney movies. Crumb Snatcher and I talked about this in the last podcast we did about 2 weeks ago, where in Disney movies, in the early Disney movies, if you look at it, the happily ever after for the male figures was accomplishing a great deal. The happily ever after for the ladies in the early Disney movies was getting married. So I kind of tried at some point to say, well, it looks to me like the women were putting significant relationships as an accomplishment and men were looking as accomplishments, doing something as accomplishments. But we've really kind of given our young ladies a really bad rap and a really bad messaging with the things that we've supported. So we need to change the way we do that, and we need to cape for anybody who's doing something progressive in that field. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out the recording because we have 15 seconds left. And to all of you, I'm going to say, stay fly.